Cancer, quick love and relationship reading. Your card, Major Arcana, the Chariot, is in the middle of this reading in reverse. So I'm reading this as a relationship that has maybe collapsed. Maybe there has been some sort of a defeat or failure here, or your plans together have been derailed. When we see the Chariot upright, we're kind of headed towards success and kind of really like pushing forward with our mission and our purpose, but something has changed within this relationship that's making that impossible. I believe that there were sacrifices that needed to have been made, and they weren't. The Hanged Man in reverse. Upright, we're making a sacrifice. In reverse, we're refusing to make that sacrifice, or we're making sacrifices that are kind of useless, like, oh, that's great, you stopped going to that workout class you didn't really even want to go to, and now you're saying you're spending time with me. Like, it's not really a big sacrifice, but somebody wasn't making enough sacrifices in this relationship, and it looks like that's why it's currently, we will pull more cards to go deeper and clarify, but currently it looks like it's not moving. It looks like it has collapsed, essentially. Okay, but you still have these hopes for healing and rejuvenation and optimism again. It's funny, I just read for your sign, Cancer, for your monthly forecast for October, and this was the Major Arcana card for October, the Star card. So I do sense that maybe for some of you this reading will be linked, but take what resonates with this reading and leave the rest. Now, for sure, not all the Cancers watching in a relationship are going to experience that their relationship is collapsing right now or failing. So just leave this message for somebody else who it resonates with today, Cancer. You overall feel like there's possibility. I have little stars on these coins here of you know, maybe even making amends, everything joining together again and working again, triangle pointing up, elevated. So it seems like you have hopes for that. I get the sense that somebody was very domineering in this relationship, very bossy, very controlling. Could be you, could be the other person. Was there some spying going on recently, or snooping, or looking into things that weren't really your business, Cancer? Looks like the past energy information came to light, or a conversation happened that, I don't know, there was tension around it, there was guilt around it, you felt bad after it, you felt like you shouldn't have been snooping, for example, but you just had a sense of guilt about what you had been doing, or what you've been saying in this relationship. You feel bad about that. It seems like things have been tense. As we move things forward, it looks like a trip down memory lane might be in store for you guys, or going over the past again, or rehashing past issues. You'll be talking about the good times and the bad times in the near future with this person. They are very stubborn in how they think everything has gone, and they feel like very much like they're in the right here, the High Priest. So they're righteous. They're feeling like, yeah, well, Cancer, you can come and say anything to me, but it won't change my mind. I know I'm right on this. And especially if you've been snooping, Cancer, they'll be like, well, you know, that was really fucked up, or whatever. I don't know, you are feeling uneasy about how this is all going to turn out still. But if you've put in the effort and made the sacrifices, then maybe you have nothing to worry about. But I get the sense that somebody was not willing to make those sacrifices, the Hanged Man in reverse. Or they're just making sacrifices that they're not really sacrifices, they're just pretending they are. Or this could be you, Cancer. Overall, we're not sure how this is going to turn out yet. The end card in this reading is the Two of Swords, so we're left on a bit of a cliffhanger here. So that's why I'm going to clear up these cards now, look at them together and see what else is coming through. So far, this is telling me that something isn't clear yet. There's a decision still being weighed up, blindfolded, trying to choose one of these swords, or trying to decide what to do. You're trying to make plans and make advancements for the future, but it's hard to do that when you're not seeing everything yet and you don't have all the information yet. And when you guys are kind of at either a stalemate position now, like silent treatment, not speaking to each other, which is, you know, stonewalling is really unhealthy in a relationship, but for some reason the person that you're dealing with doesn't seem like they're backing down because they feel very righteous. Okay, so let's look at these cards together. What's happened is, Cancer, something has been totally derailed from the direction it has been going in, and perhaps things have been going well for a certain amount of time and you can't believe how this is collapsing around you. You may have children with this person, Six of Cups, or the plans that you had been making for a long time now, a person from your past. So this has been a longer term relationship, or it was somebody you were friends with before, or there was a connection there between your family and their family. There's some sort of a link that's holding you guys together, like a history or something. And all these plans you've been making for the future have changed now. And I don't know, like, you know, you were probably asked to make a sacrifice, or they were asked to make a sacrifice that didn't happen, that would have, like, I don't know, given you the validation that, hey, this is actually going to turn out, and all of this effort and time we've put into this relationship is for a good reason. We're not just kicking a can down the road, we're on the same page still, but there was a sacrifice that needed to be made by one, if not both of you, that was not made, and we'll have to clear that up and see what that was all about. And that's why we're kind of here. The Star card, this person that you're dealing with is acting in a more unpredictable way to you. You're trying to make plans for the future. You're trying to create something stable, structured, and enduring, and something long-term and committed with this person. They feel like they have shown you enough commitment already. They feel that they've already shown you their true colors and they're sticking by it. So they don't seem to be flexible, Cancer, especially if you're dealing with the Taurus. The Nine of Swords here, okay, I mean, you've seen this happen before in this relationship, where you've said something or blurted something out, you have a lot of guilt about it, or you're racked with feelings of anxiety over what's been said, what's been done, and you still for some reason think that it can be resolved. Okay, maybe it can. Let's look into these cards. Whatever was spoken about, whatever of this tense conversation, your internal thought processes have been very negative, Cancer, around this relationship, and that's kind of been blurted out now, or like the internal manifestation of your worries has been acted out in a way of like, oh, I'm going to check their emails and see, spy on them, and see. Okay, so you're letting your kind of like mind, it's kind of monkey mind in the Nine of Swords energy, like, do you really need to worry about all of this, or are you creating scenarios in your head? Either way, it looks like you spoke about them at the very least, or addressed them with your person, your concerns, and now you're kind of at a deadlock, stalemate, where neither of you are speaking. The Emperor at the bottom of the deck talks to me about a sort of feeling of domination in this relationship, or somebody feeling or being in a way acting a little stronger than the other person. So let's clear up. This is Cancer's card, the Chariot. It's in reverse. Let's see what this block is around you now in your relationship, Cancer. The nature of the Chariot reversed. Judgment. This is really big energy. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards at the start of our reading, which are major arcana. Only 22 in the deck. So a lot are coming out now. We do have the High Priest, another major arcana here. This might be very intense for you in your relationship and love sector at the moment, okay? And Judgment is about facing fears. It's about standing up and being like on a day of reckoning, our day of judgment. And can we say that we did our best, that we aligned with our truest, authentic soul, or our person? Did we align with ourselves? Did we face up to all of the challenges that we should have? Did we address everything that we should have? Did we rise to our destiny? You might be feeling like something from the past is currently creeping up again for your relationship. It looks like the same thing, a version of the same thing that's happened before. Could be slightly different circumstances. This could even be a different relationship, that a pattern is happening again for you in a new relationship. But this relationship looks like it's fallen off. It's the tracks, basically. The wheels are broken and are coming off now, and it's up to you to stand up and face this. The Judgment card is saying you have to look at this. There's no ignoring this. It's too big right now. You have to address it, and you're getting a chance. Judgment is offering you a chance to face your fears, especially around love and relationship, that need to be looked at right now. And the the Hanged Man reversed and Judgment talks about judgment was the presentation of some way for you to address something that really needed to be addressed. Speak your mind, speak your truth, be vulnerable, talk about what it is that needs to be spoken about. And I don't think you did, Cancer. The opportunity has now passed. That does not mean that judgment will not appear again. In fact, it will. It will appear with something similar again for you until your soul has evolved and grown through this lesson that you asked for before you signed up for this lifetime. Gosh, what do we be thinking before we sign up for this incarnation, right? The Hanged Man in reverse is just saying very clearly, this is when we didn't face up to the fear, and now we're not only Hanged Man upright, which is a feeling of limbo. We're now, I can't believe I did that. I'm still in limbo over this situation, but I didn't make the sacrifice I needed to make at the time. Let's look at that sacrifice. What is the Hanged Man in reverse talking to us about, Cancer? There's a little bit of delusional thinking here so far for me. A little bit of delusional thinking, because I can see you still have really high hopes for this, but major lessons haven't been faced yet. So the Eight of Cups. So this is about walking away from something that isn't really satisfying your soul anyway. Now, while it may feel like there's a lot of love, happiness, sexual compatibility, chemistry, or even looks really good on the outside, fundamentally your soul knows that something isn't right here, and it's imploring you to move away from this. And you're not. You're resisting this. You're resisting the change. The Hanged Man is saying, like, okay, you've had some time to consider everything, Cancer. We've, your guides may have been coming through to you. Circumstances in your life may be showing you that there's cause for concern here, but you're still very much staying, and now the time has been presented, and it's the time has been for a while to make a decision around this and leave behind something around this relationship. Now, this doesn't have to mean leave behind this person, but it does mean that you have to leave something behind. So take that as it resonates. When, as it does, it could be a behavioral pattern, it could be a behavior on yourself, or some sort of a toxic codependent habit that you both find yourself in. But overall, you know this, right? The timing's been right for you to face up to this for a while now, Cancer, okay? So I do see some sort of delusional thinking here around this relationship. The Star card, okay, so the possibility as far as you're concerned is making amends, healing through this, reconnecting, making this right again, righting the wrongs. Let's see, the Star card. Is this hope and dream and aspiration for Cancer possible at this time? The Lovers. Well, that's a great indication that it probably is possible. Anything is possible, remember that, Cancer, but no point in trying to heal this relationship until you've addressed what Judgment is asking you to address. Why don't we just ask what Judgment is asking you to address, right? No need to speak in riddles. I'll try and make this as clear as possible. Judgment is asking Cancer to face something. Something has been, plans have been scrapped. The plans that you had made together are not working out anymore. Judgment is asking you to face up to a lesson. You're getting a chance to do it, and in order to heal like you want to do this, I believe a judgment lesson is needed to be faced. What does that look like? King of Wands. Is this something to do with the power dynamic in your relationship, control in your relationship? This King of Wands is reminding me of that Emperor we had earlier. Was there a treachery or deceit in the past that needs to be fully addressed? Not being able to fully speak your mind is coming through, not being able to stand in your power, either one of you. But yeah, the Lovers in the Star card says that this could be a soulmate or a karmic connection that isn't expired yet, that there's still more to be learning from, growing from, healing from together. That's good. I like to see that. It's even possible that the person you're dealing with thinks the same way as you and is experiencing these feelings too, but meanwhile knows that something is tainted. Okay, let's have a look. You're feeling guilty about something that you've done, and it doesn't have to be in this relationship. It could be in a past one, or whatever the situation has been. Nine of Swords. The Fool card. Maybe it was guilt about being foolish. Maybe it was guilt about causing stupid arguments that like aren't really important, like pettiness, back and forth, like just causing disruption. I don't know, Cancer, there is opportunity here for growth still in this relationship. Not everything has been looked at yet. There's a lot more to grow from, but something does need to be left behind. What does that look like for you? There was an area of this relationship that just wasn't moving. You might have been pushing against it. You might have just even been totally anxiously avoiding it and doing the opposite of pushing forward, just avoiding altogether. But there is something that needs to be addressed, and you might have acted far too impulsively in past relationships, or you've acted too impulsively in this relationship that we're talking about, or the most recent one if it has been ended. And that's what you have guilt about and anxiety about, your impulsive behaviors, how you let things slip, how you blurted things out, the arguments you caused. I'm thinking that you need to take some accountability here, Cancer. Don't shoot the messenger. This is just reading the tarot, nothing personal. We've all been there. The Page of Swords talks about some energy in the past, which I thought initially was spying or snooping, or at least voicing some concern to the person you're with, that you had doubts about what they were doing or why. This pointy, sharp object in the Page of Swords is like a trigger, like a poke, that you're like poking the bear. You've let something out, Cancer. King of Coins. This Taurus energy again coming through. You might have opened up to a Taurus or revealed something to a Taurus. But overall, I feel like you did this with the intention. You were back and forth. Will I say this or not? Will I do this or not? You did it to be sure of your position, to like, they were so sure of themselves. The person you've been dealing with is very sure of themselves in this certain scenario. Like, they're not backing down, they're being very stubborn. And so you kind of thought, I want to get on that same like level. I want to be sure about myself. Like you're feeling intimidated possibly by that person that you're dealing with. So you went looking for vindication, you went looking for validation. And I don't know, it looked like it was a little bit impulsive, really. So there is a very sweet energy coming up in the near future for you guys. If this doesn't look like it's you two coming together again, or contacting, or being able to like romanticize is coming up for me now. So like you might start romanticizing like what has happened, or else you can kind of turning to a friend soon, or someone that you're close with, to discuss this. What does the Six of Cups mean for Cancer in this reading? The Four of Coins. Okay, so trying to regain some sort of stability and harmony again is what you're kind of looking for. So before you begin to do what you've really got to do, which is address what really needs to be addressed about the power dynamic in your relationship, about the codependent behaviors, or the way you feel yourself like depending on this person for their approval, and they're very domineering. That needs to be addressed first. So we take small steps like the Four of Coins and the Six of Coins, just to get back into a phase of at least communicating, at least some sort of a solid foundation to grow from again. Like repair that before we tackle the bigger issues. It might be more easy for you feel right now, that if you kind of just get back to basics before like going full throttle on what really needs to be addressed, could be the way you plan on going forward with this. Especially, I'm getting the sense that there might have been a past treachery now. Okay, let's have a look at the Seven of Coins. So this is going to be some advice for you, Cancer. Persevere with your plans, even if they're kind of derailed. There might be an element of that you can persevere with, if not solo, kind of like a sort of separate avenue or something. Like, okay, so that didn't work out, but I can still do this, or we could try do it this way. Let's see what the Seven of Pentacles is about. Seven of Coins, it's talking to me in this reading about perseverance. This isn't easy energy to work through. Eight of Wands. A lot of conversation seems like it's going to be taking place soon. A lot of back and forth and some change around this sort of circumstance for you. So it does look like there's some movement taking place. If you were planning on moving somewhere with this person and that's what's been derailed, maybe persevere. Another option might be possible for you. If the issue was commuting and like a power dynamic, like you never come see me, why don't you come and see me? That might also be changing in the near future too. Because it looks like you'll be taking action on something either way. You're not ready to just let this lie. You're just not ready to let this go. So the High Priest is talking about feeling like this is more your person. I'm actually seeing it as being quite stubborn right now, but they're very righteous. They think like that they know everything that's best for you, for them, for this relationship. And maybe they're not seeing everything you're seeing, Cancer. Oh. Let's clear up the Hierophant, or the High Priest as it's known in this deck. Earth sign energy coming through with the Queen of Coins. You might live with this person or have lived with this person, and you could even feel quite restricted, or they could feel quite restricted in the living situation. The Queen of Coins is our domesticated kind of court energy, and I can sort of see like caging around this person. It's interesting, these cards both came up together in your old reading that I've just done for October and November, and it did talk to me about some sort of a like earth sign energy trapping you, where you feel restricted by that. They feel very much like they're in the right, and yeah, I mean, they're pretty serious, I think, right now. There's not a lot of lightheartedness around the person you're dealing with. You can't even really crack a joke with them, I'm sensing. So the Three of Coins, you are hoping for some sort of a kind of regrouping, maybe even a resolution here. Making amends, that's what you hope for. I see that with the Star card too, because you see this person as a soulmate, you know. You don't think that this is over, even though things are kind of, the wheels are coming off a little bit, right? So this is the Nine of Cups. You feel very happy with this person still. Don't mind me, Cancer, I'm just reading these cards. So you seem to think that this can be resolved because, you know, you bring each other a lot of happiness. You feel very fulfilled with this person. You feel like they tick all the boxes for you. You feel like they are the missing part, or they have what you don't have, and that, you know, you won't be complete without them, I'm sensing. Maybe you need to treat them a little bit more fairly, is what I would be seeing. Or vice versa, they could need to be treating you a little bit more fairly. I feel like, especially if it's in terms of, have you ever budgeted for something together? And if you've ever done this, Cancer, this will show where the unfairness lies. Take this for an example. If you ever have to come together with funds or resources for something, or you budget for something and plan for something, who does most of the work around that? Who brings the most to the table there? That seems to be the way this dynamic has been in this relationship for a while. So Two of Swords, the outcome of this situation, it looks like currently we're not really talking about what needs to be talked about, but will we still be able to resolve for Cancer? Queen of Wands. You know if you can or not do this. This is very in tune with themselves energy, the Queen of Wands. Very in tune with what they want, their desires, their will, their actions. The High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. You know intuitively how this is going to turn out, and that's what my message I will leave you with today. Meanwhile, the resolution doesn't seem possible at this very moment because things need to be addressed first. You deep down know, I believe, how this is already going to turn out for you, Cancer. Thanks for watching around this love and relationship reading. I will see you soon.